sorry, Justine. Wanted us to get a free plate. I let you down, so.
I feel like I will say, even though we didn't win, I feel like Tyrique was probably my favorite Love Island couple of all 3 seasons.
Oh, I love that.
Even though we lost.
That's a big win.
I'm very conflicted in the results for who won this season. To me personally, it comes across as though production had someone they wanted to win, and this is what they did. I expected them to count individually the bags. Unless I missed it, then maybe. I'm happy Isaiah won. I would have been happy had Tyrique won, Toby, or even Johnny himself. The top 4, I think, deserve to be in the top 4. But I'm not happy that Lucinda won, because I personally feel like Lucinda has played the victim, and someone really wanted her to win because they've had her traipsing around the world doing Love Island, and finally they were able to give her the win that she wanted, because in Australia she didn't get the win. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'm very conflicted. Kudos to Justine and Tyrique. They tried their best, but hey, they must have had their own winner. I would have wanted Tyrique to win because he's really carried the show on his back, as he says. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Games, Season 2, Episode 18, the finale. You have the Islanders having said goodbye to Andrea and Josh. They're excited because they've really worked hard in their alliance and they've got themselves to the finale. So they have this toast and they're celebrating, you know, that they're in the top 4. And it's just a matter of waiting to see who goes up for the Mega Duel. And they know that the public will be voting. You then have couples go and sit down and have conversations. And Sydney and Toby are having a conversation. And there's this chat about, you know, his stunt where he tried to recouple with Gabby. And they're nervous that as a result of that, the viewers might not support them. You know, Sydney says she was upset about how he had gone about and sort of tried to drop her. But at the moment, she's not as mad as she was initially, because we all saw how upset she was. And she said, you know, I want to sort of try and focus on the duel. Hopefully we get to go head to head with someone and we win. I think they have a good chance. I think if it's something about smarts, yes, they have a good chance. If it's something physical, I'm not so sure. But Sydney's committed. She said she's taking off her nails because she wants to be ready to go to war. So I love that for them as a team. I love people who are very supportive of one another. Ty needs to have ownership in Speakeasy, because Speakeasy has become his place. The fact that every time he goes in there, he has to make sure he shuts the door, and the little stunt he pulled shutting the door while Justine was walking ahead. They're proud of themselves as a team. I think they've done amazingly well. I think they've complemented each other very well, regardless of the fact that initially they didn't trust one another. But the moment they got to trust, this is why they are where they are. They spoke about the Mega Duel. Justine is saying she's happy she's done it before, so she's ready to do it again. There was a lot of flirting, and then they shared a kiss. And then Justine was saying to Ty, don't fall in love with me. And he was saying, don't ruin it. And I love it for them. I really love it. I think they get along very well. I think they have great banter together. I think they really get along. So you heard Justine sort of say, she loves the fact that Ty always makes her happy. I think they're good. I think they're very good, and I think they'll work very well. I don't know romantically. I don't know their age gap one and the distance. I'm not sure whether that's something that they could sustain. And it was like, I really love this for them. Anyway, everybody then gathered around the fire pit and they were roasting marshmallows. And they were just talking about their time in the villa and sort of their highest moments. With Isaiah, you had Ty. Ty is always going to speak his mind. At times you want to say to him, Ty, stop. But he said to Isaiah, out of everybody else in the villa, you have it well made. Because 1, you found love. 2, you're in the finale. 3, you've made friends. 4, your ex is here and you're in good books. What more can someone ask for? And it's like Tyrique is messy. Tyrique is messy. For Johnny to say, he loved the fact that he was able to get a mystery box, open it and find Gabby. He is happy with that. And it's like, seriously, why are we doing this? Why are we being messy? And so it was cute to see everybody just be happy, just be at peace. They were celebrating, making it to the top 4. And now people are nervous about what's going to happen next. So everybody got ready for the night and went to sleep. In the morning, you had the guys make breakfast. And Tyrique was saying, I'm fed up of this princess treatment. This has to be the last time we make breakfast. We can't keep making breakfast. Even when he served Justine, he told her, this is probably the last time I make you breakfast. And it's like, with Tyrique, he's going to speak his truth while he's laughing at the same time. So I just found that hilarious. You had the guys just having a conversation about where they are. And Ty was saying to Johnny, I want to go head to head with Toby so that I can show him who's boss. And it's like, these two people, I love it. I think Ty, for him, whatever happens, he's happy because at the end of the day, he's made it to the finale with his friend. And I assume this was his goal. You had the guys sort of talking about their couplings and they were teasing Toby that Toby, you wanted to dump your partner. Look where you are now. You're here. You and your partner have to go head to head with everybody else and you have to win. And they were sort of mocking him and you were saying, she's going to surprise you. Look what she did yesterday. And it's like, oh, I love it. Johnny said, he's happy to couple because with Andreina, he doesn't think he would have made it to the finale because she really wasn't physically built for challenges. And we all know she wasn't. She really wasn't. This wasn't her cup of tea. You had Isaiah and Sydney sitting down for a conversation. Sydney is saying she's fallen in love or she's developed feelings for this man. I'll believe it when I see it 6 months down the road. She said that, she wants this for him and they were sort of having a conversation of who they want to go against. What I've noticed is Sydney this season, instead of playing the mean girl, she's decided to play the weakling and sort of play the victim to a lot of people. She started with Gabby and then she tried to go for Sydney and then she tried to go for... So she's tried to sort of turn the other girls into villains in her story. Whereas in Australia, she was a villain. She really hated on Nate until they got to movie night and she realized that Nate wasn't the guy that she had been told he was. And so I don't buy her performances as compared to everybody else. Johnny having a conversation with Gabby and sort of saying to Gabby, I'm happy that I'm in a couple with you. I don't trust anyone else because you never know what they're up, but we can beat them all. It's just a matter of us getting to the finale and then, we're ready for battle. And I think physically they were one of the strongest couples. I really do. I think physically they were the strongest couple, but sadly for them, Johnny's stunt in sort of recoupling is what the view might have turned the viewers off. Plus his previous history in other seasons. With Tyrique, he's a menace, but Tyrique is a lovable menace. With Johnny, sadly, because he doesn't have that humor, that banter that comes with it. This is why people can't find the likability when it comes to him. While they're having a conversation, you have Ariana Maddox arrive. She reveals that, the public have been voting and they've decided which two couples will join Isaiah and Sydney in the finale because Isaiah and Sydney are safe. So the three vulnerable couples are asked to stand at the fire pit. They all stand at the fire pit and it's revealed that the first couple safe is Ty and Justine. I totally agree that they were going to be safe because Justine has got a fan base that has managed to get her 2 wins. And Ty, yes, you might not agree with the things that he's done, but you cannot help but love him. And it's going to be difficult for Love Island to find anyone to come onto Love Island games that has the same charisma and personality that Tyrique has. So they are safe. They get to sit down. And then it's now between Johnny and Gabby and Toby and Sydney. I think Toby and Sydney were deflated. They thought they were going home. So when it was revealed that they were safe, they were pleasantly surprised. They were pleasantly surprised because this is something they weren't thinking of. So they were excited. Sadly for Johnny, Johnny was deflated because he thought this was his opportunity to win because he had a strong partner. He had made it to the finale. He had done everything according to him the right way. And it's like, buddy, but you took somebody's safety. So the viewers must have used that against you. So I get it. They say goodbye. They take pictures in the booth and off they go. And it's really sad because it's like everybody wants to be in the finale. Everybody wants to win, but what do? The couples then sit down and are celebrating, the fact that they've made it to the finale. Everyone can't believe that this is where they are. And it's like, I love it for everyone. I really do. Personally, who would I have wanted to win? I think all 3 boys, I was open to them winning. I really was. The girls, Justine having a second win here. Sydney having a win, yes. But Lucinda, because of other shows where I've seen her, no, I didn't want her to win. So you have the guys and the girls getting ready for the final duel. You have the girls sort of having a conversation and Justine is busy hyping up Lucinda because Lucinda has gone back into her victim mode and, oh, I'm so delicate, She really wanted people to underestimate her. She really played them and they didn't see that she was playing them as far as I'm concerned because she wasn't the little weakling that she tried to play herself as. So I don't buy it. The guys were just preparing themselves and getting themselves psyched and ready. I personally feel like people really underestimated underestimated Isaiah. They really did. They didn't think he had the capabilities that he had. And once they got to the finale, I feel like there was this sort of sense of Tyrique and Justine are going to win because Justine has already done it before, and because Toby's partner Sydney wasn't the strongest, everyone assumed that Tyrique and Justine were going to take it. They all came out. Obviously the dumped islanders were there. Chris wasn't there. I don't remember who else I didn't see, but I know for a fact Chris wasn't there. Anyway, so the islanders were then told they had to sort of create a tower of these little discs. Well, they're not little discs, they're big discs, and they were in different sizes, and they were told that you can't have a bigger disc over a smaller disc. And so people really struggled with it at the start because they couldn't sort of get the coordination, because there were 3 sort of pillars where you could sort of move them around and sort of try and sort them out in order. And Tyrique and Justine were the first one to complete it, which I think gave them a sense of calm and a sense of ease, and they realized that, oh, we can actually take it, and everyone was hyping them up and saying you can take it. Sadly, with Toby and Sydney at times was leaving Toby to carry the pillars, and this is why Toby tried to swap her, because he wanted someone as strong as he is, because had he had a partner that was physically strong, they could have done that way faster, even if they were confused. Lucinda and Isaiah struggled for a bit, and then eventually they caught on. I think they looked at what Tyrique and Justine had done, so they came in second place. Toby and Sydney were then told that sadly you are not going into the last duel, so they had to sit down. I hated the snide comments that people were making, people like Gabby, people like Casey, and it's like, this is not the time. Someone is hyping himself. There's no need for you to be making sarcastic remarks. So I really feel sorry for Toby, and hopefully he can sort of get away from the fact that he tried to change his partner just before the finale. Then they got into another duel whereby they had black bags of money and white bags of money, and they were told that if you had the white bags, then those would be deducted from your final points. We didn't get to hear the final score, maybe because I was fast forwarding quite a bit because I was fed up, because I expected Tyrique and Justine to win. They really tried their best, but sadly Tyrique, I think, expelled a lot of energy trying to drag a bag between him and Isaiah. He should have just continued to focus, and because there were a lot of people shouting, he sort of, I think, got confused in that, and sadly he should have drowned them out and just listened to Toby, because Toby was trying to give him instructions on what to do. The buzzer went off. Then they were told that, you know, they were going to deduct and count, and we didn't get to hear the scores of how many bags. I didn't quite see. I know Ty and Justine lost, which was really sad, but I loved the fact that Ty was a very good sport. He said, you know, it is what it is. He said he wanted anyone in the top 4 to make it, and so he's happy for Isaiah. I personally feel like Isaiah was taken aback because he didn't expect Ty to be such a good sport. So for Ty to say to him, I'm happy that you won, you deserved it. You know, this was your chance to win, so you deserve the win. And it's like, I really love this for Isaiah. I hope he uses the money wisely. The way Lucinda was, oh, I didn't expect this, I didn't expect... People were played by Lucinda being a nice girl. I've seen her in a previous season in another country, and I've seen how terribly she was in that country. And I think because she was dragged for that, this time she's decided to come in as the poor, innocent, naive person. And I wonder if people watch Love Island Australia, if they have the same impression. Anyway, once they've been announced as the winners, the islanders were told to go and stand behind the person they felt deserved the money. 12 people stood behind Isaiah. Isaiah deserved the money. Lucinda didn't do much. Isaiah was very strategic. Yes, he won in the duel, but also he was very strategic in who was dumped, or he was very one of the vital components of who was dumped. The biggest move he made was to dump Chris, and after that, everything else sort of fell into place, because once Chris was gone, they were able to get Kendall out, then they were able to get Josh out. So I think he deserved the win regardless. So he was told, you're the winner, you can decide whether you want to share the money or whether you want to keep it for yourself. They were given the cards to write on. He wrote he wanted love, Lucinda wrote she wanted love, and he said he believes in good karma, and he didn't want, you know, the bad karma that came with sort of trying to take something away from someone. And I get it. I really get it. And I'm happy he did that, because at the end of the day, if he had been selfish and taken all the money, then whatever brand deals were going to come after that, they wouldn't might not have come his way, and it's not worth the $125. So I hope he's able to make more. And Tyrique, hopefully this puts up his stock, him being on Love Island Games, because he really was one of the most entertaining characters on there. I don't know how they're going to go about casting anyone else for next season. I love the little compliment Justine gave him that, you know, he's been her best partner in all 3 seasons that she's been on Love Island. I can't wait to see what they do next. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 17. Bye guys.